Finish, sir.
Okay, right. Right. Now, here you can identify different kind of resources. You can identify different kind of resources. Animals can be there, assets are there. Okay. Then natural things we can identify, trees we can identify. Okay. So likewise, resources can be different. Lot of resources are there. Okay. So resources we cannot say okay, exactly these are the resources. No, resources are vast area. Okay. We can identify resources, natural things, of course. Some resources we can say man-made resources. What are the man-made resources? We are not who made it. What are those? Man-made resources?
Building.
Buildings. Buildings, yes.
Vehicles,
Vehicle.
Machinery.
What's over
Machinery.
Machinery, right, yes. So, man-made resources are there. Land is a natural thing. It's a gift from the mother nature. Labor, human resource. Okay. So, capital is the man-made resource. Okay. Give a second. We'll move to the next point. Okay. Give a second for that. So, basically in economics, land, labor, capital, enterprise. Enterprise are managing all other resources. This is very important. Enterprise managing other resources. Enterprise is the one who combining other resources. The business we discussed, we are combining in order to make a profit. But here, subject, applying way is different. So we are combining, we are managing, we are allocating this limited resource. That thing previously mentioned, we need to choose. Which one we need to use? Land we need to use. Labor this much, capital this much. We need to select. We need to select and we need to utilize it. If we just assume, if we just try to allocate resources, what will happen? Definitely, what will happen? What will happen with it? For resources, what will happen? Yes? Can I explain? Definitely, wastages are there. Okay. Later on, we are discussing some of the resources we can develop, some resources we cannot. Okay. So, when we selecting before that, we need to first think about which resource we need to think we need to allocate, how much we need to allocate. Okay. So under the economics, choosing of which resource are important why resources are limited, but human wants, needs are different. Needs are basic essentials. Wants are unlimited. With the limited resources, when we try to allocate resources to manage unlimited wants can be no, we are facing a difficulty. Why? Because of this. Okay. So this business or the enterprises all the time they need to allocate, they need to control, they need to monitor Otherwise, wastages are there. Okay. Now here Pute,
Yes, sir.
okay. Give me a second, Pute. In here, okay. The thing we mentioned, needs are limited. So even the economics, needs and wants explanations are similar. Okay, but the view of the subject is the different. The way we are applying, we are when we the way we are selecting, where we are thinking about the resources compared to business subject different. Okay, first of all, write down needs and want. That's another part we need to discuss parallel with this one. Write down needs and wants. Then we can move to the next point because some of the topics are related topics are there. At first, we cannot discuss.
Sir, can you tell it again? I did not hear you.
So, today,
I did not hear you. What did you say, sir?
I mentioned when we are allocating resources, resources are limited. We know factors of production, land, labor, capital, enterprise is there. So, when we are allocating resources as an organization, as a nation, we need to think about which resource we need to use, how much we need to use. We need to choose which one is best, which one is we need. Otherwise, what will happen? Compare the needs and wants. We know wants are unlimited. So, can we fill this kind of requirement? No, we cannot do it. So, thereby, all the time, as an economy, as an organization, as an individual, when we allocate resources, we need to think about based on the expectations, based on the individual expectations, can be a organization expectations, how much we need to allocate, which resource we need to use, which one we need to use less, likewise. Okay. Later on, we are discussing again these topics today. Some of the topics we cannot discuss now. We need to combine some of the points. So, first of all, just write down needs and wants.
Okay, sir.
Okay, here you can underline the needs, essential, survive, wants, not essential.
Finish.
Right with it. Okay. All of you look at the whiteboard, Pute. Right. In here, you can identify the needs are there, wants are there, resources, then there's a gap. Okay. The resources are limited. Resources are limited. With these limited resources or with the limited resources, when we try to allocate needs and wants, think about as a society, as an economy, as an organization, as an individual. Individual money is limited. Money is limited. Organization resources limited to organizations. Even as a nation. So when we try to allocate these limited resources, we know needs are essential for humans, basic fundamentals. Wants are limited. So can we satisfy people with these limited resources? We cannot do it. It's a very difficult task. So all the time, economy or the government, they try to satisfy people with the limited resource, they are facing a difficulty. Difficulty between limited resources, unlimited wants and needs. So this gap between limited resources and unlimited wants we call scarcity. Scarcity. Okay. So even the examination, of course, they can ask question from this area. What is scarcity? Later on we are discussing. Scarcity is happening because of the arises because of the limited resources. If you have the number of resources, unlimitedly we have the resources, then there's no point of discussing these areas. Individually, you and me, okay, resources are limited. If you have unlimited resources, there's no point of discussing economy. So economy study about the how to allocate these limited resources based on human behavior. Individual maybe, as organization maybe, person, the way they allocate resources are very different. So fundamentally, with the limited resources, we cannot fulfill. It's very difficult to fulfill unlimited wants. So there's a gap. The gap we call scarcity. Okay, needs are essential things. Shelter, money, clothes, education. How about the wants? We can say, okay, for Thursday, okay, we can drink water. Coca-Cola, wants. We can eat, think about for lunch, rice and curry. But having a burger, having a French fries, wants. Okay, so can we say, okay, wants are limited? No, unlimited. Person wants are unlimited. So thereby, can we fulfill this gap? We cannot. It's very difficult. That the thing economies are government are struggling how to allocate chooses there. That's the thing. The previous we discussed. We need to select. We need to identify which resource we need to choose to allocate or to produce based on the requirements of the society. Is this clear to you? Or not? Basic part is very important to identify. I'm asking from all of you. Rahul, any questions?
No, sir.
Others, Imet Marla, Adisha, Vinuki, Bihandu. Bihandu, right? I hope Bihandu, yes. Okay, is this clear, Vinuki? Venuki, sorry, Venuki.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Then Pute, in your writing book, write down resources. This is one of your good explanation. Give me a second. I'll share this one. Okay. So I write down as a subtopic resources. Some old papers they ask about resources. Explain, briefly explain, identify resources. Likewise, questions are there. Basic fundamental parts very important. Okay, I'm just going very slowly. Without knowing the basic areas, it's difficult to go ahead because economics is yeah, so vast subject. Okay, you can write down economic resources. The final part, the yellow color final part, economic resources are also core factors of production. You can write down red color pen.